I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. Again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season 3 of the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I want to say that this has been a long wait, and we're finally here. Again, this is season 3 of the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I will have 2 guests on today, one being Councilman John Mayberry, who will be running for mayor for the city of Blytheville, as well as I would have Mr. Gary Tobar, who's running for a state representative for now District 34. Used to be District 55, but now it's 34. And we're going to bring these gentlemen on. And before I get started with them, I just want to go ahead and just share the breaking news with you all. Just give me a minute. Last night at some event, I believe they might have been at the Holiday Inn, we have Mrs. Melissa Logan. She has thrown her name in the hat, hoping to be the next mayor for the city of Blytheville. So that brings it to 3 candidates so far. You have Mrs. Logan, as well as you have Councilman John Mayberry, and of course, I believe Mrs. Juanita Jackson will also be a candidate. So that is the breaking news, okay? So hopefully you all will govern yourself to those candidates for the mayor race, as well as for the state representative race. I will say that there are 2 other candidates who happen to be in running for District 34, which is Joey Carr and Ollie Collins. Okay, Ollie Collins is a Democrat, along with Gary Tobar, who will be primary running against Joey Carr, 2 Republicans. Ollie, he pretty much uncontested, so he'll be waiting on the winner of Joey Carr and Gary Tobar. All right. But anyway, let me go ahead and introduce my my first guest. But before I introduce my first guest, many of you know that he has a business. He's a bail bondsman, and so want to go ahead and shoot him out some appreciation in terms of running his ad, and then we'll come back and let him start the show. Okay, so let's go ahead and run his ad. All right. So now we're going to bring on my first guest, Mr. John Mayberry, who will be running for the mayoral seat. And so let's bring him on right now. Okay, let me go up here and find him right now. There you go, man of the hour,
Um,
Mr.
Mr. Tony Hollis.
So how's it? How you been?
I've been doing good. We don't testify, see.
All
We
right.
live.
Oh yes, we are. We live testify season 3, and I appreciate you um, joining today. Sharing with the the voters, giving them a little bit about exactly. Pretty sure most know you, but um, just want to ask you a question.
Okay.
You've been on the council for what, 4 or 5 years?
8 years.
8 years, excuse me. So, what bring you to this point to push you to want to run for mayor? I mean, you've been
Tony,
there for 8 years, and I mean, why now?
Tony, we need a change and we need it fast. Um, we can't stop the bleeding. The population is declining
Mhm.
and the mayor doesn't have a plan. His administration doesn't have a plan. And we're just spinning our wheels. So I decided to step up and be a
Okay.
voice for the people and to help us to move forward.
Hmm. Well, um, and I'm pretty sure you had indicated that I think your website put your website up there. I
There it
think I
is.
had it. I got it where I want to put it on the put it up for everyone. Whoever wants to go and become part of your campaign, whether it's to give it their time or make a donation or whatever. Just want to
There it
say
is.
that's Mr. John Mayberry. That's his website. Please do visit. Um, you can actually endorse him. You can go ahead and make a request as you want to give of yourself, your time, uh, working for his campaign, as well as you can make a donation. You know, uh, trying to help him financially do the things that is needed. You know, it takes a lot of money when you're running for office, and so that is his website. And so please do visit his website and make a contribution. Okay, Mr. Mayberry.
Yes, sir.
Um, Now, first of all, how do you plan? Well, let me just turn the floor over to you. I mean, just give us a. Uh, you already stated why you was running. Uh, do you have any kind of tentative plan in terms of uh, what you plan on doing to try to turn this thing around? You had mentioned loss of population. You mentioned something about jobs. Between you and I, as we speaking over the years, and you also stated that um, you want to try to bring small businesses here because that's the backbone of this country in terms of uh, money, that is keeping it running. But anyway, just go ahead and share a little bit about your your plan.
My platform, Tony, is going to be manufacturing and distribution jobs for women and men. Because if you go out to our industrial area, it's empty. And the backbone of Blytheville has always been that we had great men and women working at our local factories, and
Hmm.
uh, and they stay here, and they usually shop here and they live here, and that's a big thing that has been missing from the mayor's plan and his administration. And by us overlooking that, people have been leaving. Most of our people that works on those type of industry either go to Osceola or yet Jonesboro. And after a while, especially going to Jonesboro back and forth, they end up moving to Jonesboro. So we keep losing. Second, creating jobs for our youth. I have brought this to the mayor several times, as long as the other jobs. And, it just goes on deaf ears and you get tired of fighting that battle that I'm taking upon myself, even right now, to make sure we try to get some jobs for our youth, even this summer. So we're working hard on that. Uh, Next is we need a learning community rec center. I've already got with architects to design this, to draw it up for me, and so our kids will have something to do, activities, all kinds of things that they can do there, whether it's learning or computers. They'll have mental health there, basketball, you name it. The facility is just awesome. That's a big thing. And the last, police reform is trying to help reduce crime and trying to see how we can all work together. The county, the sheriff department, the state police, how we can all get on the same page and just be advocates for crime, against crime. So those are the things that I'm running on. Those are the things that I know is needed here. Those are the things that I'm missing here. And so I've been working hard behind the scenes to help Blytheville move forward. So as running for mayor, I'm serious. We can get the job done. I have my team already working. And so talking to you and newspapers and talking to TV reporters and the radio, we're going to get the message out and we're going to run hard, Tony.
Well, let me just ask you this a quick question. I know you mentioned you had stated that you wanted to do something for the youth.
Yes,
Since you've been on the council in your 8 years, under the leadership, the present administration now upon Mayor Sanders, uh, how much um, dollars, if you will, have been invested in youth from the city?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
$0.
Also, I presented a
Other
plan.
than the ball field out there. I mean, we know that we have, uh, that up on what it's called, what do you call it? The park and
Oak Park,
recreation.
Oak
Um,
Park.
but I think it's fair to say that you don't play on that ball field in the winter. So our youth don't have anything to do for the winter months. But from what I understand, what you want to do, you just don't want this to be recreation. This is going to be somewhat a combination of recreation and learning center.
And the community center, all of it, entailed in one. Uh,
Okay.
Tony, this facility is awesome. What we designed with my team and myself, and got with the architects to scale it out. It's going to be an awesome facility. I've got a lot of people that's ready to get on board. We just need to move forward. I even gave the mayor maybe a year or so back with ANC even a scaled down version of this.
Uh-huh.
And we could do it up the future somewhere. That's what they said. Or it's basically just waved it off. So our kids still have nothing to do.
Yeah, I
Uh,
noticed back here a few years ago. I don't know, it might have been a year or two ago, um, where they had some of the community leaders and officials. I think they were community leaders as well as local officials, and I think some state officials might have been there. Uh, Met out here at the ANC uh, college out here a few years ago, and there was talks about trying to do something with the youth. That's what this meeting was supposed to be about. Uh, what happened to that? Did they just abandon that? I mean, what
yes,
happened?
because after I presented the plan how to put it under one roof and one umbrella, then the mayor was looking for some ideas, and Dr. Shimwell came up and they was talking about, well, the church over here got something, and maybe somebody got something here with something, and something over here. So why don't we just disperse somebody over here and disperse some people over here, disperse some. After I gave my beautiful presentation, and people are like, oh yeah, 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 it's not a community youth center, and then it died. So
Mhm.
again, our youth are left out. It's not a priority for this administration. Never has been. So you
And
get
one
what
of
you
the other and one of the other things that you shared with me as well as you shared with others. Um, as a matter of fact, I discussed this with Mr. Chickwood, who run the economic, what do you call it, county economic development uh,
get. Yes.
tax or whatever you call that operation there. But he and I, as well as yourself, uh, we got to get to the point to where uh, to try to bring our women back into the workforce. And so I imagine. Is there anything in your future plan, or do you have something presently as we
That's
speak?
priority. That's priority number one, because we sit on these boards, or supposed to be on these boards, and we don't attend the meetings. And when you are left out, or you don't have a concern, other people get it. Just like we see in Osceola with the electric trucks that they're getting. That's a great job, but they could have came here too. But we didn't have nobody to fight for us. That's not a focus. So
Mhm.
for us, I'm concerned for things coming to Blytheville, for Blytheville, in Blytheville. So I saw a mayor in the paper yesterday smiling in the paper about a factory down there in
Oh,
Osceola.
I saw that. I saw that.
And I'm like,
I
man,
saw that.
uh, you could have had the factory here if you put some effort. But, hey, he's going to be old news. And I'm not here to fight with him. You said Melissa Logan is going to be running. I saw that last night.
Right.
And I looked at a theme, Blytheville shift. And I looked at the
Mhm.
word shift, and I said, well, it's kind of hard to, how you going to shift?
As a matter of
Uh,
fact, that's her photo right there.
yeah, I see. And
Mhm.
this thing is in reverse. So the only way you're going to shift is park or neutral. So, still not going anywhere. It's the same game with just a different player. So, listen, Tony, I'm for the people. I'm for all people. And I'm not for a certain few or a clique. I'm not for that. I'm for all people, because
Mhm.
it's going to take all of us working together to get this thing going. The population has been declining under this administration steadily. I mean, when I say steadily, I mean it's a downhill, and we can't stop the bleeding. He can't stop it. So he can't keep blaming past administration. This is on his watch. And the only way to turn this around is we're gonna have to do these things right here, or people gonna keep on living or leaving. Excuse me.
Mhm. Now, I want to ask you something.
Okay.
How many commission boards uh, is up under the? I guess the mayor is over those boards, right? Those boards of commissions, like what is it? Uh, they got so many of them.
Economic Development
Yeah.
Board. He's
But let
on
me
it.
ask you:
Uh-huh.
Are those boards are those boards active? Because we never hear from them. We don't see them at the council meetings. It seems like no one is making any kind of report. So these are commission boards. I mean, what good are they if they're not active? I mean, why do we even have commission boards if they're not active?
You talking about just in our committees or
Yeah,
just what the
just
mayor
like
does?
you got so many boards. You got what is it? You got what do you do when you're trying to structure the boundary lines, or what do you call it? Zoning, zoning
Okay.
board. For
Okay.
that's one. That's the board. Um, another one is the housing board. Over there at what do you call it over here on What's that, Chickasaw?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the housing public development board or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why don't these boards ever meet? I mean, I'm talking about publicly.
Well, I couldn't answer that one because I'm not on the board and I don't know what they
Do
do
you
and how
think
they
do
do.
you think these boards should meet though?
I know they meet. It just, do
I
we
mean, do you
meet
think
at
they
the
should meet?
board?
Yeah,
Talking about meet with the public?
meet
Uh,
with the public, or either show up at you all. For example, um, you take like the park and recreation.
mhm,
Uh, there's a person that operate the golf course. You know, the only time we see him is when you know he's actually pressed or there's a demand for him to attend a meeting.
mhm,
At one point, I do know that for many years they didn't even meet. They didn't even report before you all, the council I'm talking about. And
mhm.
so, what could be done upon your administration to hold a lot of these commission boards, to hold them accountable to where they being transparent and they report to the public? I mean, what could be done if you become mayor? How can you
Well,
change that?
well, one thing we've already started working on that because, as you said, the golf board is reporting, and we're going to have several other boards start reporting because it's needful. Everybody needs to know what's going on. You know, um, these meetings are held. Seem like everything want to be closed door. Look, I ain't got nothing to hide from nobody, so I'm one of those people gonna have an open door policy. You gonna be able to see me. You gonna be able to get in touch with me. There ain't gonna be no doors closed and you got to bang on the door. No, you're gonna be able to get to us. So
Okay.
these open door policies and us being transparent and accountable, that's a big thing with me. Because if you're doing right, you ain't got nothing to hide. So that's what
Yeah.
I plan on doing. So we'll get with these boards when I'm in and hey, report. That's what they did in the military. They said report. So we report.
Well, I know you pretty much don't want to show a whole lot of your what's on your plate right now, and but I do want to extend you this time that if you have anything um, to add or anything to ask of me or what have you, I extend that time to you now. Let me go to this comment board here to make sure that there's no one on here that may be asking you a question. Okay, let me find one. Okay, good night. Oh, these people just pretty much watching and speaking. Well, we do have one. Why done video enforcement get to ride through the black community and harass blacks? Okay, well, since you one of the colon, I mean one of the council, I think this question is in regards to coal enforcement. Okay, and
Okay.
and this is a lady, Miss Beverly Robertson, is asking a question. Her question, I'm pretty sure you can see it there. It's a why done video. I mean, she mean to say why or why do video enforcement or code enforcement? Well, I guess is what she's trying to say. Why do code enforcement get to ride through the black neighborhood and harass blacks unnecessarily? And it's okay. And she goes on to put all of them up first. They pretty much go hand in hand. Uh, she say, code enforcement. I guess she's saying that's his name, Danny Harris.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure you know if that guy worked for you all or what have you. But those the look like those the two questions that she have. Um, she feel like the coal enforcer, Mr. Danny Harris. I don't know him. You do. Uh, there's been a lot of complaints, even at our community meetings we have with the neighborhood watch, Pastor Jones, and uh, Councilman Perrin. Um, and so, have you gotten very many complaints about this person, Danny Harris, harassment or what have you?
I'm gonna say this, and I've gotten a lot of complaints on Danny, good and bad, black and white. Um, some things are in the gray area. Some things, interpreted different. So with our assistant police chief Jefferson, we work through a lot of issues together, and we come together and try to solve it. But as far as just harassing, he doesn't harass. He just do what he think is right, and some of it is a lot of gray areas, and so we have to go back and try to solve a lot of things. And um, it's just we're going to get a little bit better as far as how we're going to do certain things because Chief Jefferson and I, we'll say, hey, it shouldn't have been done this way, but yet he still did it. And so we're still working on these issues. So,
Okay. Well, that's pretty much the only question. Everyone else is pretty much saying um, hello and this, that, and other, or what have you. I'll say my hellos in a little bit. But while I got Councilman Mayberry, who's a candidate for mayor, city of Blytheville, uh, we getting ready to wrap this up because I'm looking at my time clock now. Look like I done overspent here in terms of the time. And so, do anyone have any other question for Councilman John Mayberry before I let him go? Only want questions. We'll say our hellos uh, later. Okay. And I see everybody there. I will try to acknowledge you before we uh, close out on this broadcast. Well, Councilman Mayberry, that's pretty much uh, all the questions. I don't see any other. And so if you care to go ahead and give your closing um, remarks or whatever, I extend that time to you now.
All right. Well, thank you, Tony. Hey, it's real simple. If you're looking for a real change, I'm your man. You're looking for jobs to come here, manufacturing distribution jobs for women and men, I'm the guy. You ready for a youth center? I'm the guy. You ready for the youth to have jobs? I'm the man. You looking for police reform? I'm going to be the guy. As well as try to fix all these streets and deal with this drainage, I'm the man. But if you want stuff to stay the same, deal with those folks because we're looking for real change. I'm for everybody, have always been for everybody. I want to be fair, has always been fair. Call it
Mhm.
down the road. Let's just do what we're supposed to do. I'm transparent, I'm accountable, and I am running for mayor of Blytheville. So, Tony, uh, we're gonna talk again. I know you keep doing the great things. I'm here to support our local media. You're doing a wonderful job, and I'm just telling you and everybody else there's going to be a fight. It's going to be a
All
race.
right.
It's going to be a war, whatever you want to call it. But I got my gloves on. I'm ready to throw it.
Well, I hear you, champ. Well, as always, you're more than welcome to come back. This is your platform, and like I say, uh, come back, visit with me. Um, Again, that's what the show is called, Testify. And I thank you for your testimonies today. And hopefully you'll come back and we'll do it again.
Go out and vote for Mayberry
I
Mayor.
want to put your, I want to, and for those who just tuning in, that you want to donate or play a part in Councilman John Mayberry campaign,
Or
that
leave a
is his,
question. Leave a
that
question.
is his website, www.electmayormayberry.com. So please go to his website, endorse him, make a contribution, or request as to what you can do to help. Okay. So, Councilman John Mayberry, I appreciate you coming by. And I like to say peace and love. And
Peace and love. All
all
right.
right. All right. Bye bye. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest that I'm going to bring on before I bring him on, I'm wanting him to go ahead and sit tight. Uh, I just want to go ahead and run uh, Mr. I can't find him. I may have to come back. But anyway, let's go ahead and bring on the other guests. They've been waiting patiently, and I'm pretty sure they got viewers that's waiting on them. Uh, the time look like we're doing a pretty good time as well. And so before I bring them on, I want to go ahead and bring on the theme music again. This is my theme intro for the next guest. Well, all right, let's go ahead and bring on my next guest right now. And there he is, man in the flesh. How you doing there, candidate Mr. Gary Tobar, running for District 34, State House of Representatives. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, Tony. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back on your show. Did you make up the music? I didn't know you was that musically inclined. Is that one of your new
It's pretty much
gifts
soft.
that you're exploring now? I didn't know
It's
you could
pretty
play
much
that.
music that come with my software. I just play around and try to find something that's agree with the ear. You know what I mean? But but again, as always, it's good to have you back. Um, I noticed that this is this your third run now?
Yes, sir.
Third run for state representative. I think the few times that you did run, I think the last two was against Mr. Monty Hodges, who's
That's
running for a
correct.
national seat now. Correct?
That's correct. It's an open
All
seat.
right. So this is your third time. Okay. So Just tell me before we get into the show, uh, why try again?
Well, the answer to that is very simple. Uh, we still need District 34 now, the new name for district. The past, for the last 10 years, has been District 55. The new current redistricting number is District 34. Why try again? Because we're still in the same shape we were
Mhm,
in when I ran in 2020, also when I ran in 2018.
mhm.
So why try again? Because there hasn't been anything that has changed, not for the better.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, you and I spoke briefly today, and I do understand that many have said before anyone threw their name into the hat. Uh, since you and uh, ex candidate, Mr. Monty Hodges, you all done spared so much. Uh, they figured that now that you would be pretty much the favorite going into this race. But just this past week, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about it. I do hope you share something about it because when someone is not given an opportunity to respond after an allegation has been made, I don't think that's fair. Now, the paper indicated that she did reach out to you, but in talking with you, I understand that that wasn't the case. And so, uh, if you would, before we get into speaking about, you elaborate more on why uh, running again, for the seat. So you could go ahead and touch base on, this information that was printed in the Osceola Times.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for giving me this opportunity.
Mm.
I must also say that because of you being an advocate, a voice for our community, thank you for giving me and so many others an opportunity to utilize your platform to give information that is more effective in making greater impacts within our community. As you mentioned earlier, I finally made the front page headlines
All
for the
right.
first time. I finally made the headlines for the
Mhm.
first time. Um, and this time, unfortunately, it wasn't of the things that we have tried to do as a advocate champion for the community, doing those things that we have always tried to do for the betterment for our state here in this part of the state. But unfortunately, it was the first time I would make headlines that I would be raised for the front page to share of the exposure of information that of one of the great supporters, a good supporter of ours, who for the first time had an opportunity, wanted to participate. So excited that I've been encouraging others for the last 6 years, and I must admit, we have
Mhm.
had so many people, Mr. Hollis, for the first time that are so excited to get involved. One particular individual who's excited, everyone that probably know my personal life know, I have been identified to be one affiliated with donuts.
All right.
And uh, that's in both sides of the state, Crittenden County and Mississippi County.
Okay.
Uh, they pretty much know I am being affiliated with donuts. However, one of my our ground individuals who's excited to work along with us
Mhm.
decided to be a part, go out and spread some love of donuts this past week. Went throughout areas just passing out donuts and also raising the consciousness that for Team 34 that we want to share some love and some sweet treat.
Mhm.
And what I was told after the fact, she had went to a particular stop there at the city hall there in Osceola, where she gave a box of donuts. There in the box of donuts, she had left a note attached, written on the box, but also she had left a card
Mhm.
that was with the box of donuts. She was supposedly, the question was asked, was the city Gary candidate Tobar with for the candidacy of District 34.
Hmm.
That was the question apparently that was supposedly been asked. From the best of my knowledge, because I haven't heard yet from the newspaper or editor who actually published the paper, they have not reached out to me by no means. I have not received a phone call from them. Neither have my campaign manager, Mr. Dwayne Mays, neither Dr. Adams, who is my public relation. Neither one of us have received a telephone call or a missed call in regards of this particular event. However, because of that, making the headlines, also showing the impact that has been created, I wanted to come on to let everyone know that it was not only part of my practice. I have never practiced that kind of act, and I will not be affiliated or be accused of doing anything intentionally and aware of that would bring any embarrassment up on my candidacy and also for the office that I hold. The young lady, once I found out the truth of the matter is, I was in Monday, which is where the event supposedly had taken place, was Monday. Monday, I was in Blytheville, Arkansas, there in the chambers having a private meeting Monday, along with both local, county, and state officials, where we have been working over the last several months trying to focus on a company coming to Blytheville, Arkansas with over 900 jobs. My unawareness of the incident
Oh, let me just
only,
stop you right there. So, so what are you saying is that you are yet working to try to bring jobs in for District 34. Um, to my understanding, you have been somewhat advocating. I got some participation in how many was it? 900 jobs you indicated?
yes, so 900 jobs that we are actually have been identified. There's a company called Chimes,
This is
Chimes,
okay.
Chimes
This is on the
Solution,
south end of the county or just coming to Blytheville?
uh, particularly Blytheville, Arkansas.
Okay.
Mainly Blytheville, Arkansas.
And
We have
Osceola also
identified we have
has some pretty.
identified a location. That's correct. We have identified a location specifically there in Blytheville where we really feel like that it has been identified to be the main focus, the
Mhm.
main thing, and the opportunity to bring a job opportunity specifically designed to work within the fabrication identified in District 34 right there in Blytheville, Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm
So
excited. I'm
so all right
excited.
then.
This is a telemarketing. It's a telecom company that is one of the largest in the United States of America. And I must submit to you, Tony, the entry level and the impact that we have been working over the last several months to have the actual CEO himself who flew in, which you and I know this past Monday was the commemoration of Dr. Um, Martin Luther King, which was Monday, held this past Monday. And I must admit, what a day to commemorate on MLK Day, being there in Blytheville, Arkansas, where we're having also an African American owner and CEO of Chime Solution, identifying Blytheville, Arkansas as one of the greatest opportunities to bring a Fortune 500 business here in District 34.
Well, sound good. Sound like jobs is coming in, and sound like this, uh, this county or this district or what have you is at a turning point. But here's the question. As a matter of fact, it was asked at one of the community meetings that we had this past month. Um, how do we have these companies that's coming in? How do we assure people that's living in this area, most of them already done did some things in terms of preparing themselves to get these jobs. They got programs out of the ANC that they've been taking advantage of, for what they call what is it, employee readiness or what have you. And so, what kind of system that is in place now, not later, but what is in place now to assure that Mississippi County, or in this particular case, Blytheville, Osceola, it seems like that's where the jobs is coming now. What is in place to make sure that a lot of these jobs would go to, people here in Blytheville and Osceola? I mean, is there a system in place now
Well,
that
believe it,
functions that?
I'm glad you asked that, because most importantly, Tony, the skill sets needed aligns with the skill set mainly that these jobs that we're focusing on now. And I said it earlier, I call it the low-hanging fruit scenario. Oftentimes when we begin to try to focus on business or companies that come to our communities, these are companies that we have to try to fit and identify ourselves with and pick from, almost like a litter, pick the best litter out, the best qualified ones to get those jobs. However, we have taken on a new mindset where we understand that we're focusing on individuals that I consider the common people, the ones that no college degree that is needed, an individual who is without a job, that does not need to go to school for 2 and 4 years. But we're talking about soft skills. We're talking about identifying where the majority of our people that lives within our district that identifies have a desire to work. But when you talk about their skills as far as education, as when you talk about how much of extra beyond the norm of school that is required to retain a lot of these jobs, the demographics where we are, our people, unfortunately, we would not fall upon that. So one of the things that we're focusing on now, how we can focus on the people instead of just bringing companies, focusing on a job that the majority of our people are not able to work. So when you think about a Chime solution, for instance, a Chime solution is a job and a skill where I must admit we've talked with our largest educated advocate here in Mississippi County, Dr. Shimwell, who was present, ANC, that where we've already partnered. We've already talked about how we've identified that there would be the local training site, utilizing ANC as the training site and vehicle where these individuals can go and get properly trained. And Tony, you're talking a 4-week training, 4-week training that will be made available on the ANC campus, where the training will be applied for 4 weeks before these individuals would have to be able to be prepared and go into the workforce. And you're talking about entry levels of just in the first tier of $15 an hour. And I'm talking about just entry level. We have 4 different entry levels that is coming with that job. 4 entry levels, Tony, that we're focusing on, whether that you will be able, the average individual, the common person, an individual who is saying, hey, Mr. Tobar, I would like to work, but I don't have the education. I haven't gotten the opportunity.
So there is a system in place, and that system is somewhat, I guess they can get all this education experience. Is it ANC and what is called Votech? Are those 2 places? Or are there any other places that that they can go and get some of this training? Or is it just those particular sites?
The training that we have focused will be directed with the ANC partnership that Chimes, as the chief liaison, will be utilizing the best trained individuals who will be on site, partnering with ANC, utilizing that as a vehicle to get the individuals prepared over the next 4 weeks that will qualify them for the entry level of employment.
Now, let me ask you this question here before I forget. As I asked Councilman Mayberry about, why now, why is he running, what can he do better, and he pretty much jumped in and, answer that. You have two other candidates that's running against you. I thought I had their name up here. I think one of them is, I think he's a Republican. Joey, I think I spelled his name right. Joey Carr, is that correct?
Yeah, Joey Carr.
And Ollie Collins is a Democrat. Joey Carr is a Republican. That's who you're primary against, Joey Carr, correct?
That is
And
correct.
Ollie,
I'm actually the primary. Tony, this is the first time I've been a primary. I,
Mhm,
I must admit to you, this is, oh my
yeah,
goodness.
and
You
Ollie
know, we just
Collins,
filed March
yeah,
1, right?
yeah,
And
mhm,
March 1 was filing.
mhm.
The last day where I filed was the last day to file, and which actually ended.
Feel like you're freezing up on me. Feel like you're freezing up on me. Look like Mr. Tobar is freezing up on me. We're gonna see if he can get that straightened out. I'm gonna jump over here to his communication director, and we'll come back to Mr. Uh, Gary Tobar. Look like his phone freezing up on me. So let's go to no other than Dr. Adams. This is the man that pretty much I don't know if I got your title correctly, but he also is part of Tobar's team.
Yes,
You serve as, is it communication?
public
What's that title?
relations,
Public
public
relations.
relations
And so
coordinator.
you pretty much heard Tobar spoke candidate Tobar spoke of the incident that occurred in Osceola. He talked about what part he's playing in job and training and so forth. Um,
That's correct.
so exactly, uh, how are you receiving uh, these allegations that has been made against him? Um,
Well, let me
so-
just say this, if I can, and thank you for going back to that and alluding to that. As you know, in the last campaign, uh, Brother Tobar was endorsed by Congressman Crawford. He was
Mhm,
also endorsed by Senator Dave Wallace.
uh-huh.
It's no nothing done in the secret. Congressman Crawford kicked off Gary Tobar's campaign when he first started. We had a fundraiser in Wilson, in which he was a keynote speaker.
Mhm,
Senator Dave Wallace campaigned with us on the streets, on the passing out push cards 2 years ago. And
mhm.
so they allowed us to place their names, and they made statements regarding their endorsements.
Mhm.
Uh, Unfortunately, we had many, many hundreds of materials that were still left over.
Mhm.
The assumption on our part was that in 2020, when we had that endorsement, that nothing had changed.
Mhm.
And so those cards were already there for us for 2022. So the assumption was that once you endorse us, and you did it in the past, the assumption was because Gary Tobar has been in constant communication with Republican headquarters. He's been in constant communication with Congressman Crawford. He's been in constant communication with Senator Dave Wallace and other leaders. And
And so
so,
you would have gotten that number. I mean, you would have gotten that call had the editor for the Osceola Times, uh, if in fact she did call, if not if not candidate Tobar, since you are public relations, I'm pretty
mhm,
sure that call probably would have been rerouted to you or what have you, and you didn't get that call.
No, I didn't. No, I
Do you
didn't.
think that there's?
Uh,
Let me ask you this here. Do you think that there is some ulterior motive, you know, from this paper as to why, they decide to, to run with the story without making a good faith effort? Let me just use that word of trying to contact you all. You think there was some ulterior motive?
I don't know. I know newspapers are in the business of selling newspapers,
Okay.
and they can create a controversy. Certainly, if everybody agrees with you, then you don't sell many newspapers. And so this is the kind of year where, you've got to muddy the water in order to shake things up. But we know that for a fact that what happened was an honest mistake. I will say this, Mr. Hollis, in Memphis, on their county commission, 4 Republican commissioners came out in support of a challenger to a person who's already sitting on the county commission as a Republican. So they did endorse someone who was not a sitting person on that commission. Also in March, the mayor of Memphis endorsed a person who is a Republican for a seat for state legislature, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor has been a chairman of the Democratic Commission, and he is a Democrat, but he endorsed a Republican candidate in the primary. So for people to make such a big thing out of this, in terms of we don't endorse,
Mm-hmm.
when we know all over the country people are running around for whatever reason trying to get endorsements for their
Mm-hmm.
positions. And so we just believe that, this is something that people are trying to blow out of proportion that has nothing to do with the issues. And
Okay.
because our candidate has been so instrumental in crossing the lines with Republicans, with Democrats, with
Mm-hmm.
independents, with libertarians, that people are afraid that Gary Tobar has some influence that he shouldn't have. And as a result, whoever it is trying to muddy the water. And that's what I feel is happening.
Well, all right. Look like the time has been well spent. I was hoping to get candidate Gary Tobar on, but look like they got some technicalities going on there. Look like that I've lost him completely. And but the time is well spent, as I stated to him that you're more than welcome to come back. This platform, as I indicated, is yours as well as the public. Uh, Please do use it. If there is some uh, run-ins with the media to where either the money is not there, or in some cases, they just won't even publish anything for you. Just want you to know you got a home here to Tony Hollis Live Talk Show, Testify. And so,
Well, I want to thank you for that. And let me just say this. I know we're about to wrap up, and we didn't get to what candidate Tobar is planning on bringing to the table. Of course, you've already been told about the Chime Incorporated 900 jobs coming to the Blytheville area. Some of the things that we want to do is to make an impact. We want to develop an I-55 corridor from the Arkansas state line all the way down through Mississippi County to include Blytheville and Osceola. We want to build that open air mall. We want to bring a mall.
Look like this.
We want to
Let me
bring.
see. Yes, hello, hello. Look like they're gone now. Uh, that was your campaign manager. He's saying have been trying to get back in. For some reason, uh, let me try to call them back to see if the candidate have any. We got about actually we got about 1 minute. Let's see if
Mhm.
he got anything he want. You still there? Hold up, let me try to put you on speakerphone. I don't know how to work this messenger stuff. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to? We got about maybe 2 minutes to wrap it up. Is there anything that you would like to say to go ahead and close this out?
Yes, I don't know what happened to the difficult. Sorry about the difficulties, but however, I am running for District 34, and I also want to bring clarity also on the mere fact that because of the literature that has been out on the campaign trail earlier, I want to bring clarity that not only the Republican Party does not endorse any candidate in the primary. Also, speaking on behalf of conversation with Congressman Rick Crawford, uh, who has not endorsed me in this primary. The candidacy that we have had in the past was in a general of last election. However, the material that was actually printed 2 times to be exact, not only for the first time of the bad communication and yet tried to correct it for the new communication, it was misprint as well as aligned with the Republican Party. We have had to make sure that all material have been brought back, and also there has not been and will not be a endorsement for any candidate within the primary. And I want to make it clear that neither have the Republican Party nor have Congressman Crawford have endorsed me for anything that is in the primary. I'm going to be able to try my best within the next few weeks, go across this state, and looking forward to meeting all of those that would look forward in visiting and getting a chance to communicate with. And I'm asking for their support. This is my third time only because I believe in you. I believe yet in the people. So as the people advocate, I'm asking for the opportunity to become their next state representative for District 34. And Tony, because of the actual, they can't see the screen. My web is GaryTobar.com. That's Gary Tobar, all small caps, GaryTobar.com. And they can actually go to that web. They can actually be able to pull me up. And guess what? I'll be in your neck of the woods real soon.
Well, all right. Time been well spent, and I'm gonna go ahead and get back to Dr. Adams, and I want to say to you, candidate Tobar, as I said to Dr. Adams, I'm pretty sure he'll relate that message to you. If you run into any type of roadblocks in terms of trying to get your message out, just like any other candidate, I want to let you know that this platform is yours as long as you need it.
It's an honor, and Tony, I want to say to you, thank you for being a voice and an advocate, being for us within our community, because on Testify, we actually get information that is actually centered and focused for the people. And thank you for being that vehicle.
Well, all right, my brother, on that note, we're going to close it out. And I'd like to say God bless, and may you have a remaining blessed Sunday.
Thank you. God bless.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Councilman, I guess keep saying Councilman, candidate Gary Tobar. We lost connection there, had some technical problems there, and so he wanted to go ahead and wrap it up, explaining again that he knew very well that this was not about um, him not knowing the rules. Of course, he indicated that he had some lady that was new that wanted to help on the campaign, and he explained how that mistake occurred. Okay, and so we'll let you be the judge of it, but he did respond to it, and hopefully his campaign can move on. Dr. Adams, like I said, we well overspent. I'm gonna go ahead and give you these last well, these last 2 minutes to go ahead and close out.
All I want to say, thank you so very much. On behalf of the Tobar campaign, District 34, I want to tell all of the listeners and viewers that Gary Tobar is the only voice advocating for all citizens, regardless of ethnicity, social status, or political affiliation. Gary Tobar believes everyone should have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Raise your bar with Gary Tobar. Thank you.
Well, all right. On that note, I want to say, may you also have a blessed remaining Sunday. Peace and love. Bye bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that seemed like that wraps the show up. We had two candidates. Uh, a candidate for mayor was Councilman John Mayberry. He have an opponent now. Her name is Melissa Logan, as well as had Gary Tobar on, and his candidate is Joey Carr in this upcoming primary. And I want to say, if you plan to vote, let me go over here. If you plan to vote, I just want to say these are the. I thought I wrote it down. The dates of the voting. Okay, here we go. Uh, Primaries. Voting for the primaries. Okay, it starts May 9th through May 23rd. Okay, that's early voting. I don't have the time. I get that for you later. But those are the days. Early voting, May 9th through May 23rd. And of course, you all know the general, not the general election, but the primary election day, the last day to vote in the primaries, of course, will be, I want to say, oh, there you go, right there. Election day for primary, May 24th, 2022. And of course, you all know the general election, I think, is November the 8th, 2022. And so that is the end of my show. I hope something was said that will somewhat um, put minds to rest in regards to the allegation with candidate Gary Tobar. And so I want to say to everyone, I get someone that done gave me a comment over here. Uh, I just want to put this up here. It's pretty. It's pretty long comment. It's probably gonna cover my face up, and so let's go ahead and read it. I hate to close out. She took time to type all this out, and so I guess the least I can do is read it. But this is coming from Miss Juanita Davis uh, Bradley. Okay, um, but she said that Mr. Mayberry has my vote. In other words, she throwing her endorsement, her vote toward Mr. Mayberry. He presented a layout of all in one center that would benefit all people, especially our youth, from learning to recreation, mental health, counseling, and other events for all ages. I'm very impressed. Also, Mr. Mayberry presented a lot of business skills from use of computers and business training and other tools for business training. I think Mr. Mayberry would be the right person for as being the mayor of Blytheville, Arkansas. I believe he's the person we need to get. I guess that must be to get better. But that is a comment that was given by Mrs. Bradley. I appreciate your question, not your question, your comment, the way you expressed it. So we appreciate that. Uh, I think she might have had another one down here. Mr. Mayberry has not only presented a layout of future improvements, but I believe he is what Blytheville needs for a better improvement. Okay, and so she finally, that's what she means, better improvement. And so those were the two statements. I think we got everybody else pretty much saying hellos to me, and I get all that out the way just as soon as just as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for sharing. Very informative. That's Mrs. Guyton. How you doing, Mrs. Guyton? Uh, Glad to have you. Um, and so where are we? Okay, we got that's uh that's Mary Frazier, school classmate. How you doing? Looking good, Tony. I try to. I'm a little tired, and so is yourself, young lady. Um, this is one of my strongest supporters, Mrs. Linda Ray Cannon. How you doing? Uh, who else we got up here? But we got hey, I love that theme, that new theme jam. That's my sister, y'all. Love you, sis. Glad you like it. Uh, Again, hello, my dear brother. She's yet speaking to me. That's Mrs. Cannon. Hello. Uh, we got Mrs. Taylor. How you doing? Uh, we pretty much got Miss Beverly. She had quite a few questions there. Uh, Look like we got somebody. Let me see if I can mute somebody's phone. Uh, but anyway, we do have. Uh, Let me see. I didn't know Dr. Allen was still on. Let me unmute him. I thought he had left. Uh, well, I can't do it. But anyway,
Yes, sir.
uh, I was just trying to. I heard some noise. I was just trying to.
We're
Uh,
great. Thank you. Getting ready to wrap.
okay. Now we have Miss Lita, Miss Beverly Robinson. I think what done? Or she had, we asked that question. Miss Sheila Rum. That's another one of my strong sisters, as well as Mrs. Bradley. Let's get ready to do this thing. Come election, okay? Uh, Taking them to the polls. That's my cuz. St. Louis in the house. How you doing there, Penny? Okay, you all. I think I got everybody. Hopefully, if I didn't, I'll come back and I will go ahead and uh again uh give you my shout out. Okay. So what's going on? Who is that? Miss who is that got a long one? Is that Miss Oh, that's Miss Beverly. Well, let me go ahead and read hers too. Mr. Hollis, you rock when it comes to our community. Well, thank you, my sister. It feels good to be appreciated, Miss Bradley. Let me close out with Mrs. I got to get off here, y'all. Let me close out with Mrs. Robinson. As I say, when they write these long ones, I hate to close out, and they took all the time and effort to uh, post a comment. What's going on due to something about? Let me see. Who's going to do something? I guess that's what she mean. Do something about the death that there have been no healing nor closure. June the 5th will be 15 years that someone beat my child, tied him up, and throwed him in the city park pond. I think she referring to our city park here in Blytheville. Mr. Ross Thompson told me on July the 29th, 2007, that he could assure me uh, that wasn't true and that he couldn't do anything about rumors. Well, on June the 5th, 2022, I surely wish he could give me that assurance so that I could have some healing and closure because I'm still waiting. And for 15 years, I've never got, uh, I think she mean she haven't gotten any closure. That is Sister Beverly Robinson. She have participated with us in a lot of uh, these deaths here in Blytheville. She's speaking of her son. Been 15 years that he was found over Walker's Park. His body floating in the pond over there. Um, the pictures that she have shown me, and pretty much she have shown many in the public, um, very graphic pictures, I might say, uh, show that her son might have um, received some type of, hit to his body. As it appears that uh, it wasn't just adrenaline. We don't even know if it was adrenaline. We don't know if this young man was killed prior to them taking him to the river. And so, what she's saying is that there has not been a thorough investigation. These are one of the reasons why many in the community uh, um, is holding the Blytheville Police Department accountable, um, which at that point in time, uh, Chief Ross Thompson, I don't know if he was a chief then. I imagine he was. Miss Robinson is indicating that that's who she was communicating with. But she has no closure. She has no closure. And so hopefully, uh, somewhere along the way, that maybe whether it's the next administration or whomever can do something to give this mother some closure. And I'm going to be doing a show on mothers who have not had any closure for the loss of their family member. Okay, that is a show that I will be doing shortly. You all, I know the time's been well spent. Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for sharing with the viewers uh, about your son. Our prayers are yet with you, but we understand you need action. You need action from the city administration as well as the police department. And unfortunately, you have not gotten it. So hopefully, you will get that help to help bring you some closure. And any other parent out there that are yet uh, having somewhat a time adjusting day by day by not having closure for their loved ones. Well, you all, that's my show. I'm going to go ahead and get off. And I want to say, may God keep you and bless you throughout the remainder of this day. And I will see you next Sunday. Show to be announced. Um, until then, peace and love. God bless and good night. Um, she say not just my son, other families are going through it. Yes, I touched base on that. Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, as well as others. We're going to have, you know, a show to come up, as well as hoping that we can have some type of community event for all families who have lost loved ones and there's yet no closure. We yet get to keep this in the spotlight. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show. I'm getting ready to shut it down now. So catch me next Sunday. Topic to be announced. Okay. Peace and love. And I want to say it was a joy sitting with you all. Uh, today. I appreciate my guests. I appreciate all the questions. So please do come back. Do come back this coming Sunday, and we will do it again. Okay. So until then, peace and love.